It was New Year's Day 2022. Fireworks going off. And I said to my mate, there is nobody I'd rather share every New Year's Day with than you, mate. And he goes, I say the same. I feel the same way. And then he got hit by a bus. So rest in peace. True story. And we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Woohoo, baby. 2025. The year of the...
Squirrel.
It's good that you know the Chinese calendar better than I do. It is Squirrel.
It's part of my ethnicity, so I've been trying to research it a bit more.
Yeah, you do often got mistaken for... Who is it, Chairman Mao? Yeah.
Yeah, once or twice. Every barber I've ever had has made a point of telling me that I've got Asian hair.
Yeah, all those Chinese barbers you go to.
The Chinese Turks.
Every massage parlor you go to, they think you're applying for a job.
Yeah.
They ask you to fill in forms at the massage parlor.
I always wonder why I have to always give a hand job at the end of those.
That is so funny. You go for a massage and you have to give them the hand job. Wow, we are off to a flying start here in 2025, although it is the middle of December.
It is.
Because believe it or not, we don't actually, these aren't live streamed. We do record them before. So we have no idea what 2025 will hold. I believe there's an episode going out next week where we made some predictions.
That we recorded last week?
Predictions for the future.
This is a fucking time warp. I don't know what's going on.
Things have happened since then that we didn't really predict. Big assassination, obviously been in the news everywhere. You looked at me with a completely blank stare.
Yeah, no, it took me a second, but I've seen this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, your priority of news, I feel like, is a bit different from everyone else's because your big story of the week is that girl getting ragged by that dog.
Yeah, it was actually. We went over this in our planning meeting the other day.
Which is it's old news in 2025 when everyone's enlightened and we've got over this.
We're talking about the Scottish woman that set up a camera and bent over a chair and had her XL bully plow her for 8 to 12 minutes.
Oddly specific there. I believe it was 11 minutes 34 if we look at the tape. I've been watching it like it's game footage.
Yeah, we've been reviewing it.
I've been breaking it down.
You're doing like Monday Night Football. Like, if you stop there.
Yeah. Looking at the positioning within the box and that sort of stuff. Because I was just, I was wondering how this dog's getting more action than me, mate.
Yeah.
This dog is setting an example. He's making us look like fools.
My main thing with that story was that woman could just be a standard OnlyFans bird, like just shagging men without having to turn to bestiality.
She's not an OnlyFans bird, though. She's not making any money of this. She's just doing it for the love of the game. And that's how you know she's a real one.
Yeah, you have to respect it then.
You have to respect it because that is like Osama bin Laden compound footage. Like, it is not professionally produced at all.
True.
She needs to get a team on that.
Yeah, get browsers involved. What would the porn company that makes bestiality videos be called?
Desperately try and come up doggy style. Hey, not
Nice
bad.
One. Yeah.
Anyway, it is 2025. It's the new year. We're not celebrating it, obviously, because we don't celebrate the passing of time here on Radio Rufus. That's not an achievement. I hate those people who are like, glad we made it to 2025.
Yeah.
We're all out here, fam. It's like,
we had nothing to do with this.
It's a completely arbitrary marking of, a random year. And I think, honestly, looking forward to 2025, it's actually going to be a lot worse than 2024.
I would say so.
Which was worse than 2023 because we're on a slow downward spiral.
The last good year was 2010.
No.
I think so.
Firstly, 2012 was a lot better than 2010.
No, it wasn't.
2012 was the goated year.
Why?
That's the best year of my life. 2012.
Explain yourself.
Olympics. Back to back. Diamond Jubilee. Back to back. This was back when I was a royalist.
Yeah.
I should explain.
Back when?
Yeah.
When did your term as a royalist end?
About at the end of the last sentence.
My term as a royalist ended whenever I was like 6 and I had a Match magazine and there just happened to be some posters of some of my favourite Premier League players, but they were wearing England kits. And I didn't understand the political situation between Ireland and England at this stage, but I remember trying to put a poster up on my wall of Wayne Rooney in the 2006 kit, and my ma came up and ripped it down and was like, what the fuck are you doing with that? She's the same woman that once put, those, what did you call them, the chuggers? The charity muggers?
Yeah, the charity Salvation Army.
She was
people.
driving up like towards a roundabout, and there was someone collecting money for one of them, and she just put money in it thinking it was for like cancer trust or something. Then she realized it was for like the poppy appeal or something, and she came back round and was like, gonna need my money back. She's the most Irish woman you'll ever meet.
Mate, that is so low, demanding a refund from a charity. I've seen you attempt that on those McDonald's screens. There's no button.
Yeah, I put the 0.01.
Yeah.
Still.
Big stories of 2024. I think we should do a roundup to look back as our first segment, to look back at the year. It's going to be a bit of a different episode. We've got a bit of a different format, as it is a big summation. Big stories happened this year. I mean, it feels like a long time ago, but the Epstein flight list was leaked this year. Surprised, obviously, not to see Aidan Rafferty top of that list.
That's what I was about to say. Your team done a really good job in removing any trace of your visits.
Well, what I asked them to do is I rang them up and said, can you please put Callum Hudson-Odoi instead of me?
Yeah.
Which is hilarious that he was the footballer chosen for that.
Yeah, of all people.
He's just a random footballer.
Yeah.
And how old was he when they were doing that? Like 7?
Probably, yeah.
If anything, he's a victim. He was a victim, bro.
Maybe he was the fucker that Stephen Hawking was involved with.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
I never thought that the Rufus Rice Stephen Hawking like out in the pull duo would be a thing, but I'd be interested to see it in action. Obviously, it's pretty hard to see that now, but
I'll be honest, I completely lost the thread of that entire sentence.
yeah. So basically,
Rufus Rice, Stephen
Hawking out on the pull and on
Out on
Epstein
the pull.
Island.
Yeah. I don't think you need to do. I think that's why they go there. They're like, I'm sick of pulling. The muff comes to me at what's it called? St James's Island, right?
Is that what it is?
No, St James's Park.
James's Park.
Imagine that.
Jeffrey Epstein's just a big fucking Newcastle fan.
Mate, you want to go and smash some questionable women, but you end up watching a Newcastle fixture. But you'd be absolutely fuming. You'd be like, fuck, end up on Anthony Gordon.
He is what I imagine most of their types to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still looks underage.
He looks like a woman game show host from like the noughties. You know, always had
Anne
that-
Robinson.
Might be, but they all had that same haircut.
Anne Robinson's the one from The Weakest Link who is kind of scary and her face looks a bit like a scrotum.
Is she kind of sexy as well?
Yeah, in a scary way.
Yeah.
Very much your type. She's in there with Lorraine and the Can You Clean My House woman.
Yeah, make you a nice cup of tea.
Yeah, she
But
used to
also
go.
shout at you if your room's not tidy.
She used to go.
I don't actually have a mum complex.
Not yet. She used to say at the end of the program, she'd go, "You're the weakest link. Goodbye."
Yeah.
And then she'd give you the wink at the end, the cheeky wink.
Yeah, I'm like, I might be out of fucking 10 grand out of pocket, but I am fully erect right now.
It was raw sexual magnetism.
Yeah.
Anne Robinson on The Weakest Link.
Yeah.
My drillers will know what I'm talking
You
about.
stole my money and you also give me a boner.
Daytime TV, Vorderman and Robinson back to back.
Oh, no. Come on, though.
Oh my god.
Vorderman is like here. Robinson's fucking fighting for relegation in that table.
Nah, but you elevate your team members. Like it's like when what would be a good example? It's like when Pedro was playing with Messi. Like Pedro is not very good.
But Vorderman, like I didn't even know there was letters involved in Countdown, like the 3rd season.
Oh right, yeah, it was just gibberish to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about the Irish education scheme, actually, more than you.
Yeah.
Wandsworth Prison obviously happened. Is that your favourite leaked video of the year? I know the dog one is making a late comeback.
Yeah, it's kind of pushing the boat out a bit. No, I would say it's up there. The leaked video of you in that nightclub was pretty good.
Sorry?
The Four Corners.
Oh yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, and also that never happened. It's Tiananmen Square. Drake and Kendrick rap beef.
This is a bit...
What do you think? I mean, it was a big event. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah. It kind of fucked me off a bit that modern rap beef results in legal battles and people suing each other.
It's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should have it out in the streets, not in the court.
Ice Cube didn't write no Vaseline for this shit. Are you aware of that?
I don't know that song. And also, he died of AIDS?
No, he didn't. That's Eazy-E.
Oh.
Even if he did, he still could have wrote that song.
He's still alive, is he?
Yeah, Ice Cube's still alive.
There we go, my rap knowledge coming in big there.
Yeah, he wrote No Vaseline, basically a diss track to the other NWA members who were getting shafted by their Jewish manager.
With no lube.
Yeah.
Hence the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were saying earlier you've converted to Judaism?
Yeah, I did make the claim I was converted to Judaism earlier, but then I walked past a Costa and I stopped in for a bacon sandwich, and I felt like maybe Judaism wasn't for me. Yeah.
I didn't believe you until I noticed that my cut of this month's pay was a lot lower.
I thought you were going to say, talking about cutting something else there, but let's not worry about that.
Yeah, the pre-show piss was pretty dodgy.
What do you mean?
I just had a little glance to the side and you were missing a fucking inch.
Oh, it's more than an inch, mate. It's massive.
You didn't have many inches to lose
I've been
either.
Halved. The Willy Wonka chocolate experience. So that happened this year. Obviously, it's not like amazing news. They put some shit in a warehouse and some kids were disappointed. Yeah. But the big story that came out afterwards was awesome because that guy got done for being a nonce. Do you know about that?
It's not surprising, yeah.
Which, I mean, like, when they say, oh, we could never tell that he was always so quiet. We could never tell it was going to be him. They say that about the school shooters, don't they?
It's always the same people.
Mate, the guy who's setting up the Willy Wonka's chocolate experience is a nonce.
He should be a target right away.
Just like Willy Wonka himself. Definitely a nonce luring kids into that factory. With the promise of some sort of... It is literally...
They warn you about that.
It is literally the groomer's handbook. Yeah. Willy Wonka's chocolate factory is where they get all their ideas.
It's one of those ones... Did you actually see the footage of it and the photos from the event?
Yeah, but I've been to disappointing kids' parties before.
The way they had it advertised, though, and they basically, I think it was £35 a ticket they were charging, and they were promised like this like selection of chocolates and all these treats and stuff. And at the end of it, there was just like a plastic table set up with glasses of lemonade, and that was all they got.
Isn't it like 2 jelly beans per child?
Yeah, jelly beans as well. Yeah.
Mate, that's the sort of meals you get at the Nike factory, I think. Is two jelly beans and a glass of lemonade. But those kids are putting in a shift, so I expect it. They appreciate that stuff a lot more after a hard day's making shoes.
Yeah, you take someone's hand off for the half glass of lemonade.
Yeah, exactly. These kids are spoiled, mate. These Scottish kids are spoiled, clearly.
Yeah, 33p an hour and the glass of lemonade.
And a glass of lemonade.
Yeah, that's like my fellow studio's wage.
You get paid in jelly beans, right?
3 though, with this pay raise.
Oh, you got it right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll talk to the suits and we can get it to 3.5.
That'd be shit hot
flavour
in the festive season. And take 3 green ones.
Green ones, yeah. You don't want variety then?
No. I hate variety. People that say variety are the spice.
I hate variety as like an undercover racism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that exact reason.
P. Diddy. Big story.
Yeah, it was big. I saw recently that apparently the lawyer covering that whole case came out and said that every single day he gets like so many phone calls with more people coming forward with allegations and complaints. So by the time he's actually...
At some point, there's diminishing returns to this. Like, what's another allegation now?
Yeah, probably just another... Sure, did you hear the JayZ stuff?
No.
Basically, JayZ was accused of raping a 13-year-old with P. Diddy in 2000.
Recently?
He was accused...
Or years ago?
This was 24 years ago.
No. When did he get accused?
The accusation was like this week, I think. Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, so that came out, and now JayZ's kind of in hot water about it.
Yeah, I imagine he's in the doghouse for sure. Beyonce is not thrilled.
Beyonce's writing her next album.
She's not thrilled about this.
Yeah. Was it Lemonade she wrote about him? Can you imagine being JayZ and cheating on Beyonce?
That is mental.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Every year he looks more and more like Snoop Dogg.
That is true.
Bro, he looks very Jamaican in that.
He does, yeah.
And Beyonce looks white.
That is... What the fuck's going on?
What's going on here?
Yeah. But you know, I think it's a bit dodgy and a bit weird that to try and cover up this accusation, he's pulling out the fucking daughter of a similar age to try and take the heat off.
Yeah, that's like being accused of being a nonce and then turning up at a school saying, look, all these kids are fine, I did nothing.
Yeah, we've discussed this before. Just because you're a paedophile doesn't mean you're attracted to all children.
We have, yeah, so that is a good point we made before. Just because you're a paedophile doesn't mean you're attracted to your own kid.
Yeah, there's picky pedos out there. But even,
that's a brand new phrase.
Picky pedos.
No one's ever said that before.
But yeah, so accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. So he takes his
really
12-year-old daughter to watch Lion King.
This really sucks because Obviously, P. Diddy, I don't even know any of his songs, so I don't care less. But I like JayZ.
Yeah, JayZ's got some great songs.
JayZ for an embarrassingly long time.
Yeah, but that's just funny. That's hilarious.
JayZ is still funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Classics, yeah.
White boy humor.
He does look a lot like Snoop Dogg in that, though. He looks like sort of exactly down the line between Snoop Dogg and Bob Marley.
Do you know what's fucking mental? Beyonce and JayZ there, have you done a combined like face morph that resemble M.R?
Beyonce's skin color on JayZ is M. That is crazy. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, the Diddy news. It's one of those things where, like, of course, someone's gonna get got eventually. You can't keep on doing that shit forever.
Also, people be like digging out every celebrity that was seen at a party in the early 2000s. You're likely, if you're fucking hot in the scene, you're just coming up and you're invited to this party, you're not going to know everything. Like, not many people would turn that down.
What are you talking about?
The P. Diddy parties where all this stuff allegedly happened.
Yeah, because everybody went to them.
Yeah.
And then it's like suddenly there's an opportunity.
Yeah. Like, you can't cancel fucking Keanu Reeves just because he went there as an afters one night. I don't know if he did, but you know what I mean?
What an afters. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want that for the afters.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
you need to have a pretty good befores if that's what's leading up to it.
Yeah. I'd just rather have a kebab and sort of go to bed, I think.
Yeah.
But
My favourite afters, and it was during very long dry spells for all of my friends, whenever we would just sit and drink in a damp kitchen with another 6 lads and wonder why we weren't getting any women.
Mate, that is always like, it's like you've just lost the cup final and it's the team talk in the changing rooms. And it's like even the coach is depressed.
Yeah.
He's trying to cheer everyone up. An hour ago he was going, "You've got to die for 3 points." You don't want to, and now even he's crying.
Yeah. I was about to bring up that fucking time in Calvas where my friends were chatting to these deaf girls and they went to the toilet.
Were they chatting? Or were they sort of doing a bit of smoke signal sort of business?
Sorry, I got that completely wrong. So my friends were chatting to these women that could hear, and these women that could hear went to the bar.
Sorry, you don't need to just women.
Yeah, but I deemed them fucking deaf a second ago.
Yeah,
I got my story confused.
Were they blind?
They weren't. They were visually, they could see.
Yeah.
They went to the bar, went to the toilet, whatever. They said they'd be right back, and it seemed like it was all going really well. And then like 10 minutes later, I went to the bar and saw this group of deaf lads chatting up these girls and like texting to them in their notes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, you just got out-chatted by 3 lads that can't even hear.
Yeah.
This has to be a new low.
Well, mate, it does work a lot. Like
the sympathy, do you reckon?
I'm not sure if it's sympathy, but I think girls are actually like generally quite nice people as opposed to most lads that I know.
Yeah.
So like they actually respect the sort of effort to go, because it's extra everything you do in life is extra difficult if you have a disability.
Yeah.
So they actually sort of see that and respect that and appreciate it. That's why I took my crutches to Magaluf. Mate, I was hobbling around with an ACL problem for weeks on the strip.
It was worth packing the fucking Zimmer frame to Zante then.
Yeah, I did get 2-footed a couple of times by the lads. But
funny enough, you mentioned that Neil Warnock quote. That exact night, my friend Owen wore, it was a blue t-shirt with "You've got to fucking die for 3 points" with Neil Warnock's face in it.
Yeah.
So that might also have had something to do with it.
Wow, that's just cosmic tying coming in. That's butterfly effect.
Yeah.
That's string theory right there, baby.
He spent £12 on it. He got it from some fucking random like DHgate site, one of those Chinese ones.
Yeah.
It took like 3 months to arrive, so it really wasn't worth it.
Donald Trump assassination attempt. I think my favourite picture of the year. Still epic.
Yeah, of all time, I would argue.
I argue
highly up there.
I think if that doesn't happen, maybe he loses this election.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
it's an iconic moment
with the way the American mindset is. Like he could have been way behind before that, but they see this and they see him surviving this. Whenever so many other presidents historically have been assassinated, didn't survive, they're thinking, "Fuck, this is kind of cool."
For them, it's like when Jesus came back. You know what I mean? And then he's like, "Oh, this guy is legit." Even though he definitely just, sorry Christians, but he definitely just hopped off that cross when you weren't looking and hid in that cave. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Came back with a pile of Easter eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mate, Jesus was like that guy at school when it was your birthday and you came in with cake. Then suddenly everybody wants to be your friend. Suddenly you're the most popular guy in the world.
The worst example of that in school was whenever you had a pack of chewing gum.
Oh.
And all of a sudden people were flocking to you like a flying shite.
Yeah, it's unreal. You're not treating me this way otherwise.
Yeah.
That's why the Christians was... Mate, those guys who got the bread and fish must have passed that story on and then be like, wow, look how far we came. Yeah.
Feeding the 5,000 was bullshit, by the way.
In what sense? Do you think they were just like...
Not enough food to go around, like...
Yeah, I know. It's only like... if you like work it out mathematically, it's like an atom of a fish finger each or whatever. You would be the bell end to complain about serving size.
Yeah. Even in those circumstances, I'd be like... He got a bit more than me, Jesus.
That is the smallest fish finger sandwich in history, though.
Yeah. Like, Judas's chip buddy is significantly bigger than mine.
You could have been persuaded at the Last Supper if it wasn't up to taste.
Yeah.
You would with Judas then.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like, there's slight bias towards the 3 wise men there. What the fuck's going on?
If I'm the second or the third wise man, and guy number 1's bringing gold, I'm going around, I'm turning to number 3 and I'm like, oh, fuck, my present's going to look shit next to that one.
It's like our Secret Santa, our office Secret Santa. I'm hearing what some people got, and I'm thinking, mine's not going to compete. Like,
you're absolutely shitting bricks for when it's your
turn. There's a £10 budget. What the fuck can you get for £10?
This guy got solid gold.
Yeah,
I'm turning around at frankincense. I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's just some biblical dust, as far as I'm concerned. That's some whatever.
I have a biblical theory, and it's that. Obviously, we've discussed before the Immaculate Conception and how it's absolute bullshit. I think the three wise men had something to do with it. I think Joseph was away working in the workshop. Do you think it was a bit of Bonnie Blue in the barn? I think Mary was getting fucking Eiffel Towered, whilst the third man with a mirror sat in a cook chair and just strummed himself.
Was Galilee like the Nottingham of the Holy Land?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Mate, the hardcore Christians would be so upset with this chat. The Roman Catholics would not love this stuff. Yeah.
Up until I read the Bible, I thought an Immaculate Conception was just whenever you got it all in without hitting the sides.
Oh my god. There's a guy who's been commenting like, Aidan with his one good joke of the episode. There we go. You've hit the quota again, mate. That's a brilliant one.
I had one of the members of Team Aidan being like, "Oh, come on, he gets 2 sometimes."
You have got a little bit of a fan base coming up. There's the Aidan enjoyers, and they're hardcore about it as well.
There is.
They voice their opinion every time.
Yeah.
So chime off, my Aidan enjoyers, in the comments. Next one. That moves us nicely on to the Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue 100 men. Iconic challenge. I'm still yet to see. I think these might be fabricated numbers. Like, I'm yet to see genuine proof.
Yeah. We paid for the OnlyFans out of the show budget. Just so we could have a look at it.
No, we didn't. Imagine. I would have okayed it if you'd told me.
Yeah. Like, just make sure and give me the login, Aidan.
I think, looking forward, only bigger and better things for these players. Like, this is the beginning. They're still raw talents, and they're still hitting it raw as well.
Yeah.
But you can project for the future, bigger and better things. I just don't know who's going to come out on top this year. I mean, we'll get into that later because it is a talking point.
Yeah.
But big things, making waves in the scene. Next up, forgot about this one. J Slater going missing.
Yeah.
I always forget that they found him.
Yeah, that story wasn't half as widely reported.
Like, in my mind, he's still missing, and I think it was because like everyone.
He's numbered 99 in Nottingham the whole time.
The reason why it wasn't that widely reported is because actually finding him is a much worse story than if he mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah, that is true. Some of the theories that Facebook mums were working on was hilarious.
Yeah, like he stuck him on a cactus. Or something. Wasn't something. Or that he was like, he's part of the mafia.
Was it some mum commented, has anyone tried shouting his name out just in case he can't hear his?
Or that I saw theories he was in Mexico, he was in Argentina.
In fairness, he did have a bit of a dodgy past. He like macheted someone or something, I think.
He macheted a child or something. He was also a child though, so.
Yeah, right, okay.
Fair? Equals?
Yeah.
The Radio Rufus Court of Justice.
Yeah.
We call it evens?
Yeah, even Stevens in this one.
I would love Radio Rufus Court of Justice.
Go on an episode of Judge Judy as the jury.
My defendant. We refer to everyone as my defendant.
Yeah, yeah.
My defendant. My judge. What's up, my judge? He he said he literally didn't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to just accept that, I think.
Listen here, Judge. The sun was in his eyes.
He was singing the words to the song as the artist intended. Sort of vibes, you know. Yeah.
And I would argue that it's how you use the word, not saying it.
My judge, if you say it in an empty room, is it even racist? I could get you off the hook, bro.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Better Call Saul, but it's just us. Yeah. That's good stuff. So J Slater, it's like, I think it's like if they find the Malaysian plane and they work out all the answers because they have all the debris and stuff. It's nowhere near as satisfying if you actually figure it out. It's like when serial killers get caught. That's nowhere near as good as letting it be a mystery.
It's like if they had have found Maddie McCann like 3 months later, still in the year 2007, she wouldn't even be talked about these days.
The legend builds up over time.
Yeah.
It's like old players, like Jamie Carragher being a pundit, right?
Yeah.
The longer ago he played, the better he was, it seems.
Yeah.
He is a bang average footballer, but people cook it up like now he was like a centerpiece of that Liverpool team.
Yeah.
Like, he was okay.
Well, he was a big part of Liverpool's Champions League winning team.
Yeah.
But he can't be compared to like some of the greats.
But people are talking about it like he's John Terry or like, you know.
One of my favourite ones or favourite things is all the bang average Premier League players talking about how much they'd be worth in like the modern day and stuff.
Yeah. Didn't Crouchy say he'd be like 75 million or something?
You know what?
He might.
Crouchy was class, but like Troy Deeney was doing one of those
100 million for Troy.
Did you see his video where someone was like, "Stop when you hear a better striker," and they were naming like Premier League greats, and he was like, he didn't actually speak up until I think it was like Van Persie or someone came
really?
up.
Mate, that's ridiculous.
Or like Gabby Abanglahor as well. I think his best Premier League season, he hit like 10 goals, and he talks in comments on other Premier League strikers as if he was fucking Wayne Rooney.
And if he didn't hit that goal for Watford that everybody remembers, like his career is pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
And they lost that game.
That was a game that got them promoted, wasn't it?
No, they lost in the fucking playoffs.
Oh, that was the semi-final?
Yeah, they lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But nobody ever remembers that.
Yeah.
This one's so boring. Molly May and Tommy Fury break up. Boo. Yeah. It's only on here because it happened, but I couldn't give less of a shit.
Yeah, neither could I. I will say though that this is going to be Bombi's first Christmas as a child of divorce.
Yeah.
What age is she? Wait, has she even had a Christmas yet? Was she born this year?
0 or 1.
Right, okay. So maybe it's just her first Christmas altogether.
Yeah. And I think divorce Christmas is only tragic if you know what you're missing, right?
True.
Otherwise,
she's none to compare
Otherwise,
to.
it's just 2 Christmases, which is class.
I fucking love that.
Well, you get loads of presents.
I might start trying to manipulate my ma and dad over Christmas.
Imagine you get 2 roasts on Christmas. You'd love that.
Yeah, I already do, so I get 4. Although I don't think I'd want my dad's roast. Like anytime my mum was away or she wasn't feeling well, so my dad had to cook.
Yeah,
it was chips and beans and maybe sausages if the budget suited.
When my dad cooks, it's suddenly like he's prime Heston Blumenthal in the kitchen, and he spends the whole day telling everyone how good it's going to be. He's like, guys, I'm doing the thing, you know, the one dish that every dad has, which in your case sounds like sort of a council house classic, chips and beans.
I mean, I believe it's called a sausage supper.
Okay.
Which is fucking delicious in fairness.
No, I like sausages.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, if you went to a Michelin star restaurant, you'd be upset with that. But my dad...
I don't know if I would.
My dad...
I take that over the small plate shit any day.
True. But my dad acts like it's a culinary masterclass, whereas what he is doing is using the barbecue for about 15 minutes and then presenting a decently cooked piece of lamb to you.
Yeah.
And then
and
then you're like prime Greg Wallace and you're like, oh, smash this shit out.
Yeah. It's like any type of beef or meat that my mum would have cooked, she always cooked it so much because she was that worried about like giving us food poisoning.
Oh, really?
So she would have just fucked all the burgers in the oven. Still nice, don't get me wrong.
Was your mum like a cremator? Was she like...
She was in some food. Great cook. But there were some foods that, like, I didn't know I liked steak until I actually tried one in a restaurant because I was that used to chewing it for 3 days.
Yeah, it was like a hard tire.
Yeah.
You could do 50 laps on it.
But whenever I moved to uni and started cooking myself and I was cooking my burgers in, like, the pan and putting seasoning and stuff in them, whenever I came home that year for Christmas, my younger brother asked me if I was gay because I started using seasoning.
I didn't expect anything else. That's a perfect Aidan Rafferty story.
Yeah.
You get one joke in, but you also get one classic childhood story
anecdote
as well. That's so good. Being accused of being gay for using seasoning.
And it wasn't even as if I was getting really exotic. I put a bit of thyme and garlic on it.
Yeah, right. Last big stories, roundup of the year. England Euro 2024 run.
So sad to see, wasn't it?
Well, look. Watching that Jude Bellingham goal was one of those moments where you're like, oh wow, I've just watched something which is going to be on compilations forever.
Yeah.
Which is that's always a great feeling.
That is true.
It's like the other goal I watched live, that Payet free kick.
Oh yeah.
And I was
class.
Well, that's just gonna be. I knew it was gonna go in.
Yeah.
Of course, I know it's gonna go in.
I'm not saying who I was rooting for, but I did strictly drink pints of Madre that day.
Oh really? Yeah. Anyone but the English, right?
Saying nothing. There's a lot of English watching.
Do you like to hate watch England games?
Not even. I'm not as bad as a lot of Irish people.
Yeah, right.
But I wouldn't have cared if they won. But I'm also not upset that they lost.
It's a real shame. I've enjoyed so much Irish football this year. But yeah, it was a magical run. Very lucky. Very lucky throughout the whole thing. But I'm glad it happened, and I'm happy Tuchel is the manager. I'm not one of those racist like.
We're gonna have to cut that. One thing that I really don't get, and it's something that kind of confused me whenever he did get announced as a manager. They're complaining about, oh, well, he's not going to know the national anthem, and like, oh, he's not a real Englishman. Your last manager, Lee Carsley, wouldn't sing the national anthem. He played 50 games for the Republic of Ireland. No one had an issue then.
Yeah.
So why the fuck is it an issue now that, yes, I know that he was born there and stuff, but Tuchel probably will take more of an interest.
Fabio Capello.
Yeah.
We've had foreign managers. I mean, they've been shits, but we've had foreign managers for so long.
And Tuchel actually seems qualified. He's won things in Europe.
He's way too good for this level.
Yeah.
International football is like the championship level football.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Right, let's get into our next segment now. The Radio Rufus 2024 Awards, otherwise known as the Roofies, I think we're going to call them.
Yeah, great name.
And we've got a few categories. Our first category tonight is Greatest Athlete of the Year. We both nominated somebody, but we don't know who it is because we haven't looked at each other's picks.
Yeah.
And then we'll just decide whose nomination wins, I think. So, first award, Greatest Athlete of the Year, Aidan.
The person I voted for Greatest Athlete of the Year is...
Let me guess, Deji.
It's not Deji.
Oh, it's not Deji?
No.
Okay.
It's Ibrahim... Let me look at this. Ibrahim Amadou.
Okay.
Does that ring any bells?
Well, it's good when you do the nomination, but you don't know the name of the person.
I just struggle with pronunciations that isn't just strictly Irish names.
Right.
Even struggled with Rufus for a while.
Yeah. Who is that?
He is the table tennis player with no arms.
Okay, well, firstly, that clip was from like 3 years ago.
But he's still active. He's still playing. I made sure to check that.
You can't pick a guy with no arms for Athlete of the Year.
I just think what he achieved and what he had to go up against compared to the likes of a Deji. Deji had it all handed to him. Ibrahim had to fight against a lot. He was...
Yeah, but he's still not the best athlete. That's like, oh, well, that's an incredible achievement for this guy to run a marathon with no legs, right? But I can still run it faster than him.
Yeah, but you can't flick a table tennis ball up with your foot and score a fucking serve with your mouth. And that's what he was doing. This is the levels he participated at.
That clip is from Tokyo Olympics. That happened 3 years ago.
I've been watching his 2024 highlights.
You didn't even know his name.
I just don't know how to pronounce it.
You hadn't even tried to pronounce it.
Ibrahim Amadou.
Okay.
I believe he's an Egyptian.
I think he's Iranian.
No.
He's
Egyptian.
Okay. My Athlete of the Year. Also not Deji. So I thought he was going to sweep this category. It's not him. Anthony Ammirati. Olympic pole vault. Big cock. Knocked off the bar. He didn't win that tournament.
Yeah.
But he won the most off the field.
He did, yeah.
He got an OnlyFans sponsorship deal.
Did he take it?
No.
Oh, right.
He got the most female attention of any athlete ever.
Imagine being able to say the only reason I'm not an Olympic gold medalist is because my cock is too big.
What a sentence.
Yeah.
This was like when Beckham turned up with the new haircut and every girl was in love with him.
Yeah.
It was Anthony Amorati rocking it up with a juiced up hog.
Yeah.
On
He
the
was
pole
definitely
vault.
injecting into that thing.
Yeah, mate, that's what he got wrong with the roids. They were all just going to the wrong place. That thing was a hammer as well.
It was, yeah.
Surely just the weight of that holds you back.
Yeah.
Because you want to be as light as possible. This guy was bricked.
He was.
Yeah.
I think it would be more impressive. I don't think he was bricked because it would have showed up different.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have looked the same.
So he's just that big with a softie, so you can imagine how big the bricking.
Probably as long as the pole. There's probably women lining up to vault his.
Who doesn't need any equipment.
Yeah.
Who wins it then?
Honourable mention to Joey Chestnut.
Honourable mention to Joey Chestnut for eating 57 hot dogs in 5 minutes or whatever it was. But I feel like he does it every year.
Yeah.
You can't just give it to him every year.
Yeah. I think one thing that you're failing to recognise is that Ibrahim also has a massive cock. And sometimes he serves with
You
this.
don't know that. You just ironically you pulled that out of your ass. I'll give it to Ibrahim though. He's got no arms.
Yeah. He can't even accept the award.
He's gonna have to.
Let's do an impression. I'm handing you the award. So, athlete of the year. Here you go, Ibrahim.
Wait, balance it on my head.
Have you got that much slack? Have you got anything to say?
Oh my god, that's so good. Right, next award is Shagger of the Season. Aidan, who are you picking?
Another name that I know the person, but I'm going to struggle to pronounce, so bear with me. Baltasar Ebang Ngonga. He's also known as Bello.
That's not a real name.
It is. And
Who is that?
He's a presidential candidate in Equatorial Guinea. And basically, a few months ago, 350 to 400, I think, estimated sex tapes were leaked that he recorded in office, in his office that he was preparing his presidential campaign.
Really?
And it was all with the wives and girlfriends of his political opponents.
Oh my, that is so baller.
Yeah.
That is so
Whenever
sick.
I was...
How did you find out about that? I've never heard about this.
Yeah, this was huge. I saw it in like Twitter a couple of months ago. We were meant to cover it one episode, but we didn't for some reason.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so 350 to 400 sex tapes that he had been recording, all leaked just around the time of the election. The person he's running against is his uncle, who's been the president for since 1989, the longest reigning president alive.
Yeah.
So they think that he had something to do with the leaks to try and throw off his campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
If anything, it just strengthened the campaign.
Yeah, if that happened to Trump, if it was found out that Trump was fucking everyone's wives.
Raw dogging Jill Biden.
Yeah.
Or
his votes would have skyrocketed.
Yeah. Him doing sort of him sword fighting with Kamala's husband, I guess is the sort of equivalent, right?
Yeah.
Well, that blows my nomination of Bonnie Blue out of the water. I had no idea. It wasn't on my radar. Obviously, that makes Bonnie Blue look ridiculous. So suddenly this is child's play.
And this man is I'm pretty sure he's in his 50s and he's still fucking, which you have to admire.
Well, it's an absolute walkover. We have to give it to Balthazar.
Yeah.
Next award, least funny meme of the year.
I went for Hawk Tua.
Yeah, I thought Hawk 2 might get a mention. It was up there for me as well. I'm personally going to go for AJ and Big Justice and the Rizzler.
Yeah, I don't get any of that stuff.
Throughout my career, I'm always continually overshadowed by these food-eating cretins. In 2022, it was Ben AFC. In 2023, it was Bevo. And now, it's AJ and Big Justice. And these fucking idiots, all they do is scran food and add absolutely nothing to it.
Yeah.
And my career is, I'm continually being outperformed by these morons. I'm sick of it. And all they did is eat a biscuit, it feels like.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're on Jimmy Fallon. I could see Jimmy Fallon. He gave an interview about interviewing the Rizzler, who's a tubby 8-year-old kid, right? It's just an obese child.
Yeah.
All we're doing is parading childhood. If he wasn't fat, it wouldn't be funny. I'm absolutely convinced about that.
Yeah.
It's literally the main joke in America that people like is childhood obesity.
Do you reckon in order to one day potentially get on Jimmy Fallon yourself, you just have to start not swallowing your food.
I think the ship has sailed. Mate, I could see, he gave an interview about what it was like to meet the Rizzler, right? And Jimmy Fallon's dead inside anyway.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, it was awesome.
That was one of the ones he definitely didn't want to do.
I loved it when we brung the boom. Mate, he's like 50 years old.
They're not even the best like food content creators. Have you ever watched Clayton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Chicken burger. Yeah. If he wasn't Jimmy Fallon, I'd have no complaints.
Oh, yeah.
But fuck this fat 8-year-old.
That's my go. AJ and Big Justice, we bring the boom. Not funny.
Yeah.
But your nomination?
Mine was Hawk Tua. Never find it funny. Never will find it funny. The fact that she's probably a millionaire just off that one throwaway comment in like a random TikTok clip is fucking soul destroying.
This is why the internet has gone to shit. Back in 2015, that would have been a 1 week Twitter reaction meme.
That would have been it.
And that would have been the end of her career.
Yeah. It would have been like big on Vine for a long weekend.
And now she's generating pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
Somehow.
She's got a podcast that I'm surprised the fellas weren't looking into it with their scouting ability.
Well, don't count your chickens. There's a podcast. Obviously, it's called Talk to Her. Right, which that pun might be the best thing she's ever done.
Yeah, cleverly named. Yeah. And at the start, I didn't really have a big problem with it because it seemed like she was going to use her platform for good, doing a lot for charity and stuff. But within like a few months, she has created a Hawk Tua meme coin, which was basically like a big pump and dump crypto scheme.
Oh yeah.
Which so many people have apparently lost money on.
Mate, that's actually criminal though. Like she will get investigated by this.
Yeah, 100%.
Mate, imagine Hawk Tua girl in the Supreme Court. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see charges being brought. I want to see justice getting done.
Yeah.
Not big justice. Fuck big justice. I want small justice.
I want to see him brought to justice too though. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. He might be a 12-year-old kid, but he's an op. Fuck.
I do imagine that fucking Hawk Tua, whatever you call her, is it Haley? Haley Welsh or something? I imagine she probably didn't know much about it. She didn't know what was going on, but still her name attached to it. It's her thing, and she's probably getting the profits. But at the same time, if you're watching and you're someone that thought it'd be a good idea, a good financial decision to invest in a fucking Hawk Tua meme coin, you deserve to lose every penny you ever had.
I saw a meme that referred to this year as the Hawk Tua era. It's so upsetting because I loved the 9+10 era. That was my time. That was my pride.
That was just simple times, harmless. Some people found it funny. Some people, I personally didn't.
Yeah.
But
also, you could avoid it back then.
Yeah.
If you didn't see the Vine, you didn't see it everywhere.
Yeah. And people would have just happily been a one-hit wonder and went on with their lives.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah.
Next one, we got embarrassing moment of the year. Actually, we need to nominate a winner for that last one. Hawk Tua?
Hawk Tua, yeah.
Got to be right.
I would say so.
Most embarrassing moment of the year? Aidan.
I think for me, it is the footage of the woman who cheated with Tommy Fury. Have you seen that?
Yes.
On the podcast?
Iconic soundbite.
What one?
Where she goes, did Tommy and Molly break up because of you? And she said, yeah, man.
Yeah, and she's so proud of it. She sat there with a fucking shit-eating grin as this is her fucking life goal, as if...
She's bragging. It's like she's just completed the 12 Peaks challenge.
Yeah.
But all she did was hook up with a Dorito from Love Island.
I've genuinely seen footballers holding a fucking World Cup trophy with less pride.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And she went on this podcast and was bragging about it and talking about how she shagged him in the same night she shagged 2 or 3 other women. And I was thinking, right, so you're just sloppy fucking fourths and you're bragging about that. And just talking about blowing him in the back of G-Wagon. And
mate, it's like when you come back to the Christmas buffet for the 4th time and it's only parsnips left now. Yeah. That's basically what she's talking about.
Yeah. It's a strange thing to be proud of.
Cold parsnips. Mine is the Tom Garrett handjob video. Not for Tom, because Tom made an excellent response to that.
Yeah, he handled it well.
And it is... that's good. And it is... But I'd say it's for firstly the bloke with whose penis that is, because that is a subpar penis, my friend.
It is a pathetic
That is
shaft.
a pathetic piece of wood.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. Tom's hand looks about 3 times as big as it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Tom's not a big man.
Tom's not a big man.
Yeah.
And it looks like I could cover it pretty much with a pinky wrapped around it.
Yeah. I don't even think it counts. It's that small.
And also, it's well, I was going to say it reflects badly on the banter levels of that group. But it's not a million miles away from boarding school banter, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Do you reckon it would have been a lot harder to come back from if he was wanking off a fucking hammer?
No, I think I would like it a lot more.
You'd have enjoyed it more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, there's one of the most... No effort put in there. That guy was floppy, bro.
Yeah.
He was not enjoying it. And also, Tom was yanking that thing to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
He done everything but spitting it.
It was Dick Rippington for sure. That must have hurt, bro. He was tugging it.
Bit of chafe.
It was a proper tug of war, that thing. Yeah. So, most embarrassing moment of the year? I think we have to give it to that girl, though.
Yeah, because Tom actually came back from it. Whereas this girl, she's treating it as her career highlight.
Yeah. Worst trend of the year?
Ooh.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Brat Summer.
All that shit and the language that came with it, I find infuriating.
Yeah, they came up with some like Minecraft villager speak to like describe everything. But my main problem is they're describing there's no line between what is brat and what isn't.
Yeah.
Like everything's a brat summer.
Yeah, like, oh, that's so brat, or people saying that's so C word.
Oh yeah.
Fuck up, you stupid prick. Does my tits in. Honestly, the use of TikTok language and like whatever word is trending that week, I've never had any time for it.
Like they would literally use the term brat summer to describe it literally doing anything.
Yeah, and it's fucking winter.
And it's winter.
Yeah.
They were like describing like Kamala Harris as having a brat summer when she was on the election trail. Yeah. Mate, she is a ruthless politician.
Yeah.
That's the opposite. A brat summer, from my understanding, is basically like, oh, I had too many vodka lime sodas. I'm a edgy girl.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, right? Like I don't do face masks or whatever.
Or whenever people use it ironically because they really didn't have a brat event and they're like, oh, that's so brat of me. Like, no, it wasn't. Stop trying to be funny. Shut the fuck up.
Having a latte is brat to these people.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand the original meaning. So,
and like, if you ever complain or bring anything like this up, they're always like, is it really that small and stuff like that in the comments.
Mate, this whole thing, it's like 1984. Suddenly they're creating a new language. You know the book?
No.
Of course. Yeah. I knew you were gonna.
Yeah.
Mate, in the book, the government runs everything and they create new terms that people use so the bad things don't seem as bad.
Yeah.
Like people saying unalive instead of kill. Yeah. That is just government brainwashing speech in there. TikTok is doing it to us, mate. Literally 1984.
Yeah. Whenever you first said that, I was about to reply with, nah, I haven't seen it. So I'm glad I held my tongue for a second.
I think Brat Summer wins this easily. You don't even have to nominate anyone.
My nomination was for worst round of the year, people wearing a carabiner in the loop of their jeans to attach their keys to it.
So lesbians.
Basically, yeah. What the fuck's the point? Just walk around jingling.
Mate, you're not scaling El Capitan like that guy from Free Solo.
And it definitely isn't easier. People would be like, oh, it's for convenience. The rattle that thing makes, and I've never seen someone get their key off it in one go. It's always a fucking struggle.
That's true, yeah. Worst song of the year is our final category. What have you gone for?
I went with KSI, Thick of It.
I thought you might, and I really had to try and think of another song to not pick that. I went with Hot to Go in the end, because it is literally a mind-numbing children's spelling song that for some reason became this big meme, like, oh, is she going to play Hot to Go? No, this is like the funeral home or something. And
I saw
then
them,
they're playing like Funeral March while Granny gets cremated or whatever.
But I could actually, if that's on, don't get me wrong, it's a bit annoying, but it's also catchy. It's one of those songs that you find yourself
just like
along
Bake
to.
Off, your girlfriend's been getting to you.
She doesn't actually really listen to her.
You would never listen to it of your own accord, would you?
Yeah, but that fucking office, sometimes the people that DJ in there commit war crimes in that speaker.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm faced with 25 Girls Aloud songs back to back, I'll take a Hot to Go. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's like when you get tortured by the North Korean secret police. It's like when they turn off the water torture tap after 25 hours. You're still on the stretcher board, but it feels great because at least the water's off. Right.
I think we have to go Thick of It though for the winner of that.
Yeah,
just because it's so shit. There's no redeeming feature.
Next segment then. Best moments of the pod. What are your favourite memories looking back. Obviously, we started the pod in February this year.
Yeah, February 20th.
It's been it's been a great year, full of great moments. Do you have any particular faves?
Very early episode whenever we were playing.
Yeah, let's say it at the same time. Ready?
I can't remember.
First ugly dog contest.
That is also mine.
Okay.
Which was great, and I think the clips done really well.
That was our first iconic clip.
Yeah, probably.
That did really well. Was you calling that woman a monster?
That was just that whole segment. I enjoyed it a lot, and going through them, and some of the fucking absolute hideous dogs that we had to look at. Yeah. But what I was going to say was, whenever we were playing, what was it called? Something chocolate orange.
Upsy chocolate orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you didn't watch if you weren't a regular viewer back on episode 5 or whatever, it's this game where you have to rub a chocolate orange on your balls and then throw it to the next person who takes a bite out of it and then rubs it on the balls and keeps going. Usually you would play an actual ball on orange contact.
Yeah.
But obviously we're playing in the studio.
We done it over the trouser.
We did over the trousers.
But beforehand we were discussing how we didn't think it would last very long because we assumed it would just crumble into shit. Yeah. But it was a lot stronger than we imagined. And we were discussing the structural integrity of it. And you just let out one little quip, but it fucking had me down. We were just like, "Oh, well done, Terry." And it's such a small.
That is your favourite moment.
There.
Oh my God.
That cracked me up. That's one of them. The other one
is so niche.
I fucking love that one. That's if I ever think back to the early episodes, I just think of that.
They were. I think it's because in February it's cold, and obviously they were sitting out.
Yeah.
And that was like a mitre football on a Sunday morning. Those things were
right
rock hard.
You were thinking as well that we weren't going to get them because it wasn't Christmas, and we had a bit of a bet.
No. You thought that.
No, I didn't.
Yep.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was positive.
Nope. Proddy thought that.
You thought that we couldn't get them in the corner shop or Sainsbury's?
Nope, that was Proddy.
Was it?
I am a regular buyer of the chocolate orange year round.
Right,
I'm still fuming about when they carved a pattern into the slices to remove the chocolate out. They used to be solid.
I had a very fucking run. It was probably the most autistic munch I've ever had in my life, where I just wanted something from the shop.
It's an interesting phrase.
Yeah, well, I came back. Usually you get like a tin of Coke, maybe a Lucozade or something. I came back with a banana yazoo and a chocolate orange, and my stomach was in bits after it.
But for you, that's basically a fruit salad.
Orange and bananas.
2 of your 5 a day, right?
Yeah. The other one was whenever we were discussing in a old segment we used to do, dispatches from Nan, the air raids, and in the middle of doing that, the fire alarm went off.
And it wasn't planned.
Yeah,
it was perfect timing. Yeah, it was unreal.
And we were like, get down, and ducked under the tables.
Oh, I just forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
I still haven't worked out how my gran listens to the show because she is completely deaf.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she reads it, sticks the captions on.
I guess I forgot captions exist.
Yeah.
I've got one of my favourite news stories we reported on the year. Ireland US portal. Do you remember that? When
that was pretty good.
Video portals, and basically all these Irish people were just showing Americans 9/11 clips and stuff. And then that OnlyFans girl got her knockers out in front of everyone and got arrested for basically like public indecency.
There was another portal shortly after that. I'm not sure where it was at, but the same woman went to that and got her tits out.
Mate, she should have got a shout for shagger of the season.
She hasn't done any shagging that we know of.
That's true. Yeah.
Promoter of the season, maybe her and Eddie Hearn could go head to head.
Yeah, right. What? Didn't some Irish guy get his arse crack out on the other side or something?
It was so stupid. Like the Americans were like, "Oh, we'll show them a photo of a potato. That'll show them."
Yeah.
and then the Irish lads are like 9/11.
Yeah.
And fled the footage onto the portal.
It's quite like a rogue shout putting the other end in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe you put it in like Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Paris.
a big connection between New York and Ireland.
Yeah, a lot of Americans think they're Irish.
Yeah.
This one is like, I think it's just for me really, but finding out that Italian Batch doesn't know who Chairman Mao is. Obviously,
you were perplexed at that.
I was bamboozled by this. But then you sort of admitted to me that before this podcast you didn't think about Chairman Mao.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
And I realised that maybe it's just a me thing. Chairman Mao's one of my guys.
I would say your audience, if not generally, after watching you, they would be very aware of him.
Yeah.
But I don't think the general public is as big on Chairman Mao as you are.
He's definitely the most popular chairman.
I don't know, the chairman of my local Gaelic club, like, really well liked.
Yeah, by like 4 people in Ireland.
There's at least 8 people on that board, and they're really fond of him.
Well, there's at least 8 people in China, so...
Yeah, good point.
Actually, they don't love him that much, actually, now that I remember it.
Another one of my favourite moments in the pod is whenever we tried the Calpol vodka.
Oh, great one.
Cocktail.
Yeah. Really delicious.
It was so tasty.
And that vodka was room temperature, so if it was chilled, imagine how good that would be.
Yeah. Another clip that went like pretty viral, and there were so many people comment and be like, oh, you're gonna die, that's too much. And I was like, I'll drink another bottle.
I never felt better after having a shot of Calpol vodka.
Yeah. And then a bar in Dublin actually made a cocktail based on it and invited us to try it.
Which we didn't.
Yeah. I was in Ireland a few months after, and I was like, oh, they're still serving it, but I wasn't going the whole way to Dublin, which is like 2 hours from my house, just to get a free cocktail.
Yeah.
If they had offered me 12 of them, I might have considered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you just refused to ever set foot in Ireland, so...
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I don't want to die of dysentery, so... and my last one, do you have any more? I've got my favourite sort of... I think my favourite sort of on-the-fly chat that we came up with was that game we played with Horatio, where we decided...
The London thing?
If you jumped out of, like, a sort of plane...
Battle bus?
Out of a battle bus, I believe is the scientific term. Thank you for that. And you could occupy any building in London as long as you got there first.
Yeah.
Where are you shooting for? And there's obviously millions of great options.
Yeah, that was great chat.
Yeah.
And
you still haven't decided between Chippy, Corner Shop, and Chinese, right?
I think I settled on Spurs Stadium just so I would by default become the chairman and I'd run them into the ground until they went into administration.
Yeah.
Although Daniel Levi is doing a pretty good job of that.
Right.
Or Levy, how the fuck do you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's not Daniel Levi. Daniel Levi makes jeans.
Daniel Levy, perhaps.
Oh yeah, Daniel Levy, I think.
Yeah. That was my shout. What did you go for? You wanted one of the towers, didn't you?
Yeah, the South Tower. I was playing on a different server though.
Yeah.
I was out on the New York.
We were on the EU one.
Yeah, I was on the American servers. No, I wanted like one of the towers from Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
South Tower, I think. But then I realized, like, I'm gonna have like 1 million people walking right by my house every day.
Yeah. You know what I'd love to do, thinking back?
Yeah.
Take over Big Ben, but always have the wrong time. Just to confuse a few people.
Right.
Do you reckon many people look up to Big Ben for the time anymore?
Even back in the day.
Probably not.
No, not really.
Watches have been about a while, I suppose.
Well, imagine you'd have to go there every time you wanted to check the time.
Yeah. That is the flaw in my logic.
Inconvenient, yeah. So yeah, those are some awesome chats from last year, and hopefully many more chats this year of similar or similarly mediocre quality, I would say. Let's move on to our final segment to wrap up this New Year's Day episode. Then, what are your most unrealistic New Year's resolutions? This is what we asked the people, and we're hoping for some absolutely impossible stuff to look forward to in 2025. My unrealistic New Year's resolution is to stop begging my girlfriend to step on my balls, no matter the context. I'll spring the demand on her, no matter the occasion. And I don't mean the bedroom. It could be a family dinner. I'll lean over and whisper it to her, or play footsie and drag her foot over to me under the table. It could be in the gym, spreading in a certain manner on the bench press, demanding for the sweet relief of pain upon my scrotum. Even at her work do, I had to be escorted out because I wouldn't stop looking at the floor and telling her to get stomping. I just gained so much ecstasy from feeling a heel-to-toe manoeuvre along the old sack and shaft, and it has got to the point where it is an unhealthy obsession that I realistically must stop. Despite this, I don't think I can get myself to stop this gorgeous gesture upon my genitalia. Does that count as unrealistic? Can I just say, that is an epic of Shakespearean proportions, that paragraph.
Yeah, it was well wrote.
That is one of the most beautiful essays I've ever read.
Yeah.
Why stop it? The only reason you didn't provide was like, there's no. I've seen no problems here.
Yeah, if you're enjoying it and she's willing to do it, everyone wins.
Yeah, it's just, you know, if you're doing it in public, that's fine as long as you don't get caught.
I think I finally found the person behind that video I discussed in a previous episode of the fella swimming in the pond with the fucking dominatrix woman literally on a rope with his balls attached to it.
I would love to see this.
Let me see if you can see it. Find it.
That's classic Aidan Rafferty Google, by the way. He types in dominatrix rope and it suggests dominoes.co.uk to.
It's not even my fucking computer. I searched it and there's just so many people being like, help me find this video of with the description after it. Yeah.
So no joy.
No joy.
Well, hopefully by New Year's Day 2026, we will have watched the video of the man swimming in the lake with the dominatrix having his balls on a leash behind him.
It's so funny.
That's my New Year's resolution.
It's not as if she's like walking him, she's stood still and he's swimming on the spot.
He's treading water, right? Next one. I'd like to smash a 10 out of 10 and have her leave me in her place while she goes to work so I can catch up on some sleep and raid the fridge. I got some bad news for this guy. He's clearly never smashed a 10 out of 10 before. Because usually they don't have jobs and they don't eat food.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the most you're going to find, one of the hottest girls I've ever slept with, yeah? You know what she had for drunk food once we got back to the gaff?
Flavoured toothpick.
Pineapple chunks.
That is deplorable.
Pineapple chunks, bro. I mean, she looks great.
Yeah.
Pineapple chunks and a Marlboro Red in the morning. Benson and Hedges in the morning. Yeah. They don't eat anything. So you're going to end up miserable and hungry. And also, she'll still be in the house when they don't work either. So
yeah.
she'll still be in the house.
They just make outfit of the day videos.
Yeah, exactly. Next one. I'd like to talk to a woman when sober.
I can't help you there.
Kind of funny. Honestly, I think, you know, if there weren't women in this office, this probably tracks for me as well.
Yeah. Do you ever chat to women that aren't colleagues? Not directly your colleagues, but...
Yeah, I do, but like usually just on dates and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't live with any women.
What about like all the Brighton cougs?
Yeah, but like that's an alcohol situation.
I think it would be easier...
And every other girl I know is a colleague.
It would be easier to chat to an older woman without drink, I think, for yourself.
No, because they're downing the margaritas, so they want to get, you know.
Yeah, they can have a drink, but I think you would operate better.
Yeah, but if a cougar offers you a margarita, are you turning that down?
Absolutely not. You can't.
There we go.
Not in your shoes.
That's the problem. These cougs love a bev.
Yeah, but you can get into a position to be offered and maybe fed a bev by a cougar without having a drink. Whereas I don't think
wait until you don't know what you're talking about until you're in the game. It's like, mate, you can't backseat cougar me like this.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like your dad watching football and then be like, just score a goal.
Yeah.
You can't backseat
Beat
football.
the first man with a corner with 60,000 people watching.
Mate, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Next one, Kylie and Danny Minogue three-way. I've got a suggestion for this guy. What about a Katie and Harvey Price three-way? Minus the poo.
Yeah. Somehow, with what
without?
Katie's done to her body, she's probably the person you'd least want to shag in that.
Speak for yourself.
With those big fucking ugly fake tits.
Who has the biggest rack? Who has the best rack? Obviously Harvey, because it's all natch, right?
Yeah. He's got the bigger ass as well, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
His ass is like my entire body, equal volume and weight. And sex appeal.
What happens if we throw Dwight York in and make it a foursome?
I'm worried about that now because I'm worried that I'm gonna sort of get left out of it and I'm gonna have to end up watching Dwight York plow Harvey Price.
Yeah. So. And I'm pretty sure the Trinidad Mandem are packing heat like.
You uncomfortably stumbled through the phrase Trinidad Mandem.
I was completely comfortable.
Right. Sounded like it. It sounded like you've never said the word Mandem. I've never heard you say Mandem before. Yeah,
it just came to me whenever I was thinking of how would you pronounce people or say people from Trinidad? Trinidadians?
Trinidad's.
But it's also Trinidad and Tobago. So.
But you have to do the accent as well.
What is the accent?
Trinidad.
That's just my voice in a higher pitch.
Trinidad. Right. I'm telling myself that I won't be back in the asylum this year. Are you telling yourself that, or is that
someone else?
Is that the voice? That is good. That came from a woman, actually. I always make note of that because it's so rare.
Yeah.
because usually it's an absolute sausage fest in the DMs. But we've got that does sum up my audience though. Desperate blokes and schizophrenic.
Yeah, I've been getting so many women in my DMs.
Well, that's just a lie, isn't
It's
it?
not. All cam girls.
Oh right,
But
really?
I've still been getting them.
Cam girls are into you, man. It's like when you produced that podcast with Lily Phillips on it, and she like tried dropping game on you,
Yeah.
and that was pre-Nottingham,
Yeah.
so she was warming up.
True.
You were on the.
I was
boot camp
patient
team.
zero.
Yeah, you were patient zero, bro.
Yeah.
Except obviously you turned her down.
I would like to disclaim that the cam girls I speak of are all bots and probably 50-year-old men built like me.
They're just trying to recruit you as one of their own.
So it's not as impressive as
Right.
first thought.
Yeah, but that Lily Phillips story is genuinely true. She did try hitting on you once,
Slightly.
and then you gave her the cold shoulder, mate.
I just said and had no response because I've got a long-term girlfriend. And
I'm aiming for 5,000 wanks.
what would that be a day? You're good at quick maths.
It's about. Oh no, I completely shanked the maths there. It's about 15. What is it? 17 wanks a day? 5,000 wanks, 365 days, unless it's a leap year, which it isn't. 13.7. This is like that guy who drank 2,000 pints or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
5,000 wanks is a lot more
It's
impressive.
easier to drink 2,000 pints.
Much easier.
What if you do 1,000 pints and 2,500 wanks?
What was that thing? You have to eat 8 donuts and have 4 wanks and run 25 kilometers or something.
I have no idea, but it sounds.
There was some challenge like that.
I like every part of it besides the running.
I want to quit diabetes next year. I've got some bad news for this guy. I just can't quit you.
So my granny got diagnosed with diabetes, and I didn't realize how serious it was.
I didn't realize she likes rising into the show.
But it was like a month after it was Christmas, and I got her like so much chocolates, not realizing that I'd probably end
Rubbing
up
it in her face, mate.
They'd have to take her leg if she had it. Yeah.
Perfect present for a type 1 diabetic in Equality Street.
By the way, I had a fucking bag of them the other day.
Yeah.
First of all, the boxes are so much smaller and they're dearer. The bags are like $4.50, the price the boxes used to be.
Yeah.
And they've also changed the consistency of them. The good ones that used to be creamy are now like weirdly crunchy.
Okay.
And it's just they've went.
I hated the creams, so I'm sort of on board
creams
with
are
the
the
crunch.
best.
No.
Fuck the other ones.
Mate, you know what's the best one?
Don't say the purple.
No, not the purple. It's the toffee penny, the one that's like
They are class.
could almost take your teeth out every time. You're risking a tooth every single
Yeah,
time.
but even that,
You're playing molar roulette.
I had the bag of them the other day, and I was going in to play COD, so I put a few of them in the pocket of my hoodie because I was like, right, I'll eat them in there.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot about them. But then like 2 days later, whenever I was eating them, I was like, what the fuck's that rattling?
Yeah.
So I lifted them out, and they were so shit. Like there was no risk of losing a tooth.
Oh.
They've really reduced.
2 days of arse heat really does that to a coffee penny.
I wasn't wearing the hoodie though.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've let themselves go up
That's
Quality
a
Street.
thrilling story.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should save that one when you really need an anecdote
Yeah.
to drop at Christmas party, maybe.
That would be a good shout.
I eat 2 cucumbers a day. Just straight up cucumbers. My New Year's resolution is to only have 1 a week because I haven't had a solid bowel movement in 2 months. I think you might be gay, but
It is pretty gay.
the cucumber has a phallic resonance.
It does. How big?
Oh, it doesn't say, but it ain't a baby.
Yeah.
This one's a full size cuke, I presume.
Just say cuke.
Cuke. It's a full size cuke, I presume.
Right. Is that just the
Cuke?
yeah?
You haven't been calling them cukes?
I haven't been, no.
Mate, I've been on the cuke train for at least 5 years. I also fucking hate cucumbers.
Yeah, this fella's been on the cock train for a lot longer.
Yep, good stuff. No drink driving in the week. Respect that. Keep it to the weekends.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it.
How many pints would you drink drive up to?
5 and drive, is that the rule?
Yeah, true.
Or
There's-
if you've had 4, you can have 1 more, I think is the right.
Yeah. In rural Ireland, it's just however many. Because the police can't say anything. They're drunk driving too.
Yeah. So it's like, what?
I reckon if they pulled you over and
10 beers. I'm trying to come up with a funny rhyme, but I just can't.
10 beer, you can still steer.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice. 10 beers, avoid the deer. How does anyone hit a fucking animal? I know they run into the road, and my dad did run over a dog once, but that's not.
Yeah, we'll not discuss that.
It wasn't anyone's dog. It was a random dog.
It's just some stray.
Yeah, it was a stray.
Mm.
So, there we go. I'd like to stop throwing stones at pensioners.
They're just like making them dance, throwing them at their feet.
Oh, that's funny. Because they're not going to catch it.
Yeah.
Are they?
People are sending these in as if it will take a lot for them to actually kick these habits. All you have to do is stop launching stones at the feet of the fucking elderly.
That's true. I want to break Luigi Mangione out of prison. I feel like you don't know who that is. He's been in the news this week, though.
That's the fucker that killed the president, isn't it?
No.
The president assassinated the
CEO of...
Yeah, the CEO of...
What? Some health company or whatever.
Company.
A local hero.
I didn't mean the president of a country, the president of a company, but
Oh, yeah,
CEO
yeah. He is a cult hero, and he hasn't been sentenced yet. But I like that one. Final one, and this is the note we're ending this New Year's episode on, is I'd like to find my dad.
Not happening.
I've got bad news for you, mate.
Yeah, just give up on that one right away.
He's in Mexico.
He's in Rufus's basement, Fritzl style.
Didn't know Liam Dowling was writing into the show. He's in Mexico, Liam. He's never coming back. He's eating enchiladas in Tulum.
Fuck, I'd love some enchiladas.
Anyway, so we hope that guy locates his father. And we're looking forward to a fantastic 2025. All jokes aside, we rarely ever say anything serious on this show, but thank you for sticking with us throughout 2024. It's been an absolute, really ruined the flow of my lovely statement. It's been an absolute roller coaster, a romp of a year, some rambunctious times with your two favourite chaps here on Radio Rufus, and we thank you greatly. And your viewership, believe it or not, is actually much appreciated because it compensates us financially for our time, which we like that.
Yeah,
no freebies on Radio Rufus.
Nah. And also start leaving more comments because it helps a lot. And recent episodes there has been a lot more, but let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, and also let us know what you'd like to see in 2025, whether it's stuff we do, segments, stories, just let us know.
Real shit. Drillings to my drillers.
Christmas drillings.
No, it's New Year's drillings to my
drillers,
to my hood rats. So I just did finger guns. That was I don't think they do finger guns in the hood.
Yeah, they don't need to.
Yeah, so shout out to... We need a name for the the Neeks or something.
Yeah, true. No, we needed some sort of... The Roofies.
The Roofies. Shout out to the Roofies. I'm probably not going to stick to that one. Shout out to you roof heads out there. And we'll be back next week. Back to you in the studio.